Welcome to the Crimson Tide Connection, your home for Crimson Tide sports. I'm joined today by the head coach of the Alabama volleyball team, Ed Allen. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, Chris.
Coach, it's great to have you back. Your team won the FIU Classic this past weekend. That included wins over Florida International in 3 sets and UNC Wilmington in 5 sets. Looking back on the weekend, how do you feel like your team performed?
Well, you know, we're still trying, Chris, to get back to 100%. We've got a setter that's been struggling with an ankle, but really excited about Crystal Rivers' performance, redshirt freshman that is really starting to come along. Her improvement in the last year has been very dramatic. And then Laura Steiner, you know, a second-year player for us that saw considerable time on the outside, really is beginning to progress physically as well. A kid that went through some knee issues over the summer and has recovered nicely from that.
Coach, speaking of Crystal Rivers, the redshirt freshman was named the MVP of the FIU Classic and was also an all-tournament team selection in the Black Knights Invitational. Can you talk about her performance and what can the fans expect to see from her this weekend?
Well, I think, you know, I've had an opportunity to coach some pretty special players in 22 years, but she physically has the tools to maybe be one of the most special that I've had a chance to work with. The numbers that she's putting up for a freshman right now are pretty astronomical, you know, and so we're expecting that she's going to continue to progress and become a better blocker. I mean, right now as an attacker, she's pretty tough to handle, and we're expecting that she's going to progress as a blocker and become a dominant player in the SEC.
Well, Coach, you've played 6 matches so far this season. You're off to a 4-2 start. What have you liked about the teams that play so far that you've seen from them, and maybe what are some of the areas that you feel like you need to work on?
Well, defensively, we've got to become a much better team than what we are right now. Teams are hitting for way too high a percentage throughout the entire match, not just individual sets, and so that's been a focal point over the course of the past week, really since opening weekend at West Point, and it will continue to be over the next month as we need to develop. I think, you know, as I shared with the team over the weekend, I think the biggest piece is our defense has got to catch up with where our offense is right now, and then hope that we can get a setter healthy by SEC play here in the coming weeks.
Well, Coach, Laura Steiner had a big weekend for the Tide in Florida. She had a career-high 24 kills against UNC Wilmington, and she finished the tournament averaging 4.27 kills per set. How has her play improved since her freshman campaign?
Well, I think as much as anything, she's becoming more consistent. She's becoming a better volleyball player. She has had the livest arm in the gym for the last year for us, and we expect in her 4-year career here she will be exactly that. And I think trying to develop as a volleyball player and hit specific shots in specific places on the floor to go with an arm that's very difficult and challenges a block on a regular basis.
Coach, you finally get to open up play in Foster Auditorium this weekend. You host the Hampton Inn Bama Bash, which includes Nicholls State, Arkansas State, South Alabama, UT Martin, and it's the home opening weekend, as we said, for the Tide. Can you talk about the tournament field and how excited are you to get to play in Foster Auditorium?
Well, I think, you know, the biggest thing is it's tough to spend 2 weekends in a row on the road and to go from New York to Miami in the process of all that. I think it's going to be huge for our kids to be able to sleep in their own beds and for us to have a schedule that's a little bit more routine with no travel to it. And, you know, expect that all 4 teams coming in will present a significant challenge for us.
Coach, as we said, the Crimson Tide will have its home opener this weekend as you do host the Hampton Inn Bama Bash on September 13th through the 14th. You opened up tournament play against Nicholls State on Friday morning at 11:30, and then you will host Arkansas State later that day at 7 p.m. On Saturday, you will play South Alabama at 11:30 and close the tournament against UT Martin at 7 p.m. What can the fans expect to see from this great action that I know you'll have here this weekend?
Well, I think in terms of the quality of teams, it just continues to build throughout the tournament, and you know we expect the last match to culminate that with a UT Martin team that's coming in, I think 6-1, you know, on the season.
Well, fans, if you can't make it out to Foster Auditorium this weekend, you can catch all the action live on Tide TV right here at RollTide.com. But, Coach, good luck this weekend. I hope you have a successful opening weekend here at Foster Auditorium.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that.
For head coach Ed Allen, I'm Christopher England, and that's it for this edition of the Crimson Tide Connection.